Okay, this video is just going to be what I've learned about answering leads on WhatsApp when they inquire, and how I've been doing things wrong, and what I've learned to really save a lot of leads from leaking through the pipeline. So you see the general pipeline is that we have, okay, let me just make some space here. We have ads, okay, we have organic as well, like YouTube videos, social media platforms, crash courses. I also consider that ways to pull them in, right? And then we have follow-up, like email marketing as well. We have retargeting ads. And then eventually someone inquires, right? Inquiry. Okay, so now that's a lead already, a WhatsApp lead. I'll just call it WhatsApp inquiry. Okay, then next is we need to convert them either to trial lesson or straight away sign up. Okay, and that's finally where we earn revenue. So we spend money on so much, right? All these steps, and for context, right now we are spending about 3K plus a month on Meta ads, and that's not counting the email marketing subscription, our staff to handle all these, like posting schedule, handle answering inquiries on WhatsApp. So there's a lot that goes in to bringing people in. Then if we bomb at this step, right, then it won't finally come to fruition. Like all our effort, all the money in the previous steps are going to be wasted because they cannot cross the bridge to finally come to us. So that is the issue that I realized I had. It was a bottleneck, and I want to just show what I learned, because every year I look back and I realize how dumb I was the previous year, right? And that's normal. We're always learning. So I'm going to show you what were the problems. So okay, firstly, how did I realize the problem? We had about, in April, right, 2026, we had about 17 leads, I think, who inquired. 17, okay. And I think from this, we only got about somewhere from 3 to 6 joined, if I'm not wrong. Might even be less than 6. So basically, we had a very low month, even from previous years, which doesn't make sense because every year, right, our numbers are higher than the previous year. So for April, how is it that we are lower than the past year's April? It doesn't make sense. At the same season, right, you can say, oh, lull period or whatever, we should still be doing more than the previous year. We are spending more in ads. Our ads are better. They're more powerful. We're doing so much more. So why is it less? So I was like, okay, give me all the leads who ghosted us, who did not convert. I'm going to read through every single conversation and see what are the patterns, see what is the reason that they are being lost, that we're losing these leads. So it's like a huge leak, in our pipeline, that they're just dropping out. And we spend so much effort and money to get them here, then we just lose them. So it's like, what is going on? Is it because they are just the wrong kind of people? Or is it because they are, we are not having the conversation with them properly, and we're losing them even though they are right people? And it turns out most of the case is that they are the right people most of the time, and it's because of my old system that was flawed. Okay, so I want to show you my old system, why I thought it was good, and then I'm going to show you the new system. Okay, so the old system is basically like that. When they inquire, we spam them with a bunch of messages. Okay, and the pros of this that I thought was that, it gives lots of credibility. Okay, and another mistake in the old system was we would kind of reject trial lesson and divert them. Okay, so I'm going to show you exactly what I mean. Alright, so here's an example. See, they contact us, they say, I want to ask about classes. Then we spam them immediately with a bunch of messages. So firstly, we send this to just show how we are unique. And that's fantastic. It shows that we are differentiated. You cannot compare us with other centers. We show proof of our results. We give them these free gifts also to show them, wow, so much value we're giving you. We show them, this is our fees, and here's all the great things you get. So show them like how worth it is. The offer is fantastic. Then we give them more info like our schedule, what are we teaching in this month. Then we show them, here are the payment options. And then we ask them, okay, which one do you choose? Okay, and then this student here, this student wanted a trial lesson. As you can see, they are very high intent because despite so many messages, right, that we send, they are like, okay, yeah, I know what I want. I want a trial lesson right now. Okay, then here's the mistake that we made. We kind of rejected trial lessons. Okay, so this was my structure last time. That trial lesson, we kind of punish them because the trial lesson fee is higher than normal. And second, if you go for a trial lesson, you have to pay registration after that. But if you just sign up straight away, right, you don't have to pay registration, $100. So we're kind of penalizing people who want to try a trial lesson. But then I reflected that as a consumer, right, me, when I go for services, when I want to sign up for something, I always go for a trial first. Because even if I see their marketing and all that, and I see their ads and I see their testimonials, I have a certain level of skepticism and I want to try. So what would turn me away is that if the trial is very high price. So I would want to try a trial. And I wouldn't want it to be a penalizing amount. I want the trial to be the same price or cheaper. That's how trials usually are. So what I was doing is penalizing people, making it hard to come for a trial. And after that, also registration fee, right? More penalties. And I was turning them away, you see. Like, at this point, right, what we should have done, our system should have just been, keep quiet. They're already saying, I want to give you money. So we should have said, okay, here's the invoice. Here, we're going to set it up for you. See you on this day. But instead, we reject them. And we say like, oh, actually there's a better option. If you watch these video clips, maybe you will be sure enough to sign up straight away. And if you sign up straight away, you can skip the penalties of the registration fee. So I was like diverting them. And then you see, now the student had brought up another objection, another concern. And their concern was that I am not I'm not learning the same topic as what as you're teaching, okay, in this week. Do you have any suggestions? So immediately what we should have done is reply their concerns. But instead, we talk about this, and you see, this was the crucial part, which we should have given them clarity, certainty, and answer their doubts. But we didn't do that properly. So later, when I came over, like a few days later, and I read through, and I was like, dude, we should have answered their doubt better. So I sent this message myself. But this was kind of like damage control. We should have already told them that, hey, it's okay if you join at a different time in what you've learned, because eventually you're going to learn all the topics. And there are many students like you who haven't learned this topic yet. But it's okay, we teach ahead of the school. And this benefits our student tremendously. So that is the main answer for their doubt. But we didn't answer that. We just went on with the standard messages because, I like to make everything very operationalized and neat. So I got, I get my assistants to, okay, if they ask this, send this, if they ask this, send this, then we have standard operating procedure, SOPs. The problem is that we were not addressing their doubts and we were not having a conversation with them. We were just like a chatbot. We were just like a robot, like, okay, you say this, I say this. We were not talking like humans. Okay, so then they ghosted us, even though this person was very sure of wanting to join a trial lesson at first. They had extremely high intent, right? But now they ghosted us. Like, what's this, man? So we lost such a good lead. Okay, and then later, I started trying another approach, okay? I started chatting like a human. And I asked, how is your... I basically want to assess like a doctor. Where are you at? What's the stage? Do you need tuition? And first I assess, like, do you even need tuition? Then if they say, actually, no, I want to try by myself, then I'm like, oh yeah, sure. And here's some free resources you can use also to help you. But if they say, actually, I'm struggling, I need tuition, then I'm like, okay, let's talk about that. So now it's actually like a conversation and assessing what they need. Okay, and then you see this student is still considering sign up. They have the problem. They have a real problem. They ghosted us, not because they are bad lead, but because of our broken system in how we are replying them. Okay, so then you can see that the person says, like, we'll discuss with our parents and get back to you. Okay, so actually I want to reply now. I want to continue this conversation. Okay, yeah. So, to summarize, what was our mistake? Our mistake is, yes, we want to show credibility, right? But we spam them a bunch of messages. And the problem is that people are not going to read. They're not going to read this whole bunch. We're giving them a lot of homework to do. Instead, we should have just gone straight to the point. What's your question? Okay, I'll just directly answer that. Then if you have more questions like class size, then I directly answer that. So we are like a human in a conversation instead of a chatbot, and instead of just spamming them a bunch of messages that most of them will not read. Then we also rejected trial lessons. Okay, which is, yeah, now on hindsight, that was just dumb. We should have just let them try. Because me, as a skeptical customer, I also always come for trial, whatever the thing is, trial service, free trial, even apps also I want a free trial. I, as a customer, behave like that. So why am I making it hard for people to come for trial lesson? So yeah, now what we're doing is, they ask for trial lesson, we just keep quiet, we just like, okay, here's the invoice. See you, Then we also lowered the trial lesson price. So last time it used to be extra high compared to the normal price. Now we made it the same as a normal price, as what most students are paying. So most students, when they pay quarterly, it's 95 per lesson. And so the trial lesson is the same price, it's 95 per lesson. What else? Yeah, instead of spamming them a bunch of messages, right? What we do now is I drastically shorten these messages. I drastically shorten them and make them more concise so that the person does not have to read through so much. And I also, the new system is, they ask for whatever question, we give them the answer. Yeah. So, okay, now I'm going to delete this. And I'll show you what's our current framework. Okay, obviously this is evolving and adapting as we learn more. Correct. So what is the customer actually asking? What's their real doubt or question? Then we respond to that like a human, not like a chatbot. Okay, and yeah, we were too scripted, we were too rigid. And now we are here to answer the questions like a human. We're going to assess also. And okay, actually here's a good summary. So acknowledge, like whatever they ask, right? Whatever they say. Like just now that lead who said, I'm not learning the same chapter as you. Acknowledge that, like, oh, okay, what topic are you at? Acknowledge, and say, a lot of students are like that as well in our class. They also are not at the same topic as what their school is teaching. So that's acknowledging that we actually read their message. And then answer their question or their doubt. There's also assessment like a doctor. So asking, what do you get for a WA? Do you need tuition? What are you struggling with? What is lacking, Why do you score badly? Do you think that just with more studying, it will solve the problem? Then give them options. So if we as the doctor realize that, okay, you definitely need tuition, then we're going to suggest it. But if they say that, actually, I want to try by myself first. Actually, I'm doing very good. I got A2 or I got A1. They'll say, okay, great. Here are some free resources to help you. And if you need help in the future, we are here. So that was giving them options based on what they needed. Then if they have doubts, right? Like I mentioned earlier, I'm not learning the same chapter as what I'm learning in school. We give them assurance. We give them certainty. Right? Here's what I learned from the Wolf of Wall Street. Sales are a transfer of certainty. We are certain about the product, they are not. When we transfer the certainty and answer their objections, obviously not lying, don't give any lies, say everything that is true. And when they realize that, hey, that's exactly what I need and it will really help me, they will buy. That's a sale. And it's just like a doctor. Doctor explains to the patient that, hey, you have this condition, right? We have this medicine that scientifically works. It's been proven. There's many testimonials, other patients who have gone through the same thing and they've been cured. So then the patient will realize, oh yeah, that's exactly what I need. And then the patient will buy the medicine. Yeah. So, and last one is also we want to continue the conversation. So we have like a small call to action. After we reply, right? Then we say, we always end off with a question to keep the conversation going. If not, they will just end there and then they'll ghost us. So the conversation continuer could be like, would you like to try a trial lesson? Yeah, okay, and then they'll say, yes, no, or I need to discuss with my parents, all this. Another one is, if they say, oh yeah, another one could be just, what do you score for your recent test? If you don't mind sharing. Another one could be, what exactly in bio are you struggling with? Another one could be, which time slot suits you best. That's an assumed close, right? I'm already assuming they're going to join one of the time slots. Yeah, so these are all conversation continuous that don't let the conversation just die off, because once it dies, then it goes us, then we lost the lead. Yeah, so that's what I learned. In summary, don't be a robot. Don't spam a bunch of messages thinking that it boosts credibility. We can have a very few of those, but it has to be concise, because it's all about quality over quantity, which is something that I've been learning from last year with everything we're doing. The messages we send, the social media posts, the YouTube videos, the tutors we have, the teaching, the amount of content we have in our lessons. I don't want to give so much content that they don't even get it in their head. We'd rather teach less and do it better. So that's constantly been proven true. Quality is more important than quantity. And last time we used to spam a bunch of messages, but they probably won't read. And what's the point, right? Then now we have concise messages that they probably will read, and in their mind, then it actually boosts our credibility because they registered that, oh wow, they're actually good. Yeah. So second one was the trial lessons. Yeah, stop rejecting that. Don't punish people for trials. Let it be easy or even free. Last time I used to try free trials, but I think people weren't very excited about it. Maybe they saw that, oh, your product is not valuable, that's why you're giving it for free. So now free trials are a special thing. Like if you are referred by a friend, then you can get it free. But if not, you have to pay the usual amount. Yeah, but I'm not charging an extra high price. It's just the usual amount, the standard price for a trial. And also making it as easy as possible for them to come in for a trial. So yeah, that's what I learned. If you were using my old methods in the past, my old way of like spamming a bunch of credibility messages, now you know why I see that as not helping.